up, Peter?
Hey, dude.
Good to
Hey.
see you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, a couple of things. First of all, why do you keep calling it gasoline?
I I don't. I call it plastoline.
No, you keep calling it gasoline. I mean, the first thing you do after the analysis of the HDP video comes out. Sorry for my accent, by the way. I'm Dutch, so my English is mostly in writing.
No worries.
The first thing you did after the HDP analysis came out, which showed it was nothing like gasoline, like absolutely nothing. It was styrene and benzene derivatives. The first thing you did was, this is plastoline, gasoline I made from plastic. It's not gasoline. That's misleading, dude. You're giving people hope that it's gasoline. You can't do that.
Well, listen here, Peter. When I say this is plastoline, I say gasoline made from plastic because that is a good way of describing its alternative use. But I do very constantly say this is plastoline, a gasoline alternative made from plastic. And you
No,
say that the
you say
analysis came back.
gasoline made from
Wait, excuse me, I wasn't done answering the question.
plastic.
Look, listen, I let you talk. Please let me talk.
Yeah.
Now, I was answering your other part of the question because you mentioned that in the analysis they had nothing to do with gasoline, but that's incorrect because he did mention that there was some xylene, some toluene in there, and if you look into the structure of gasoline, gasoline is not one hydrocarbon. Gasoline is actually a blend of thousands of different hydrocarbons that come over at a certain boiling point range. And in the mass spectrometry, mass spec everything said that he did a 60C analysis of everything volatile that came over at 60C. So there's plenty more in there that's probably similar to gasoline that comes over past 60C, because we know the range of gasoline is usually between 60 and 120C. And so with that being said, styrene was a major component. That's true. And styrene actually is in gasoline as well. But we don't want most of it in there, right? There is some styrene. You can look it up. There is some styrene in gasoline.
No, there isn't. No, dude. No, there's studies being done. There's studies being done to add styrene as an anti-knocking agent, just as lead was in the early 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no styrene in gasoline production worldwide. Maybe in third world countries, maybe in bootleg distilleries, but not in first world countries. There is no styrene because you can't do that, because styrene will form polymers inside your engine.
All right. Well, from my research, I saw that there's traces amount of styrene in gasoline. So what we'll do is this: everybody watching, please look up is there any amount of styrene in gasoline, and let us know, and then we'll see. Because I saw something different, but I will gladly admit if my research was incorrect. So to go on to what I was saying next, to what you said after that, I was saying that plastoline is an alternative to gasoline. Yes, there have been points in the past, especially in the beginning days when I was younger, before analysis and stuff, when I literally just said this is gasoline. But since then, I've changed my ways, and I completely call it plastoline. And plastoline, well, for example, in the HDPE analysis, right, that is just of HDPE. And I still have many other analyses to send, like I have the LDPE, mixed plastics, etc. So plastoline right now is just a broad term for when I get certain boiling point fractions that line up with the boiling point fractions of gasoline to come out from my plastic crude oil product.
All right. So your HDPE run, the polyethylene run, it shows styrene, benzene, and benzene derivatives as
Yes.
its only components. Not that it just is its main components, but also its only components. That was the GCMS showed. That's factual. That's how it works.
I will add. I won't. Sorry if am I cutting you off? I just wanted to add something to that point there.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it said, yes, you're right. It said that those were the only components, but those were the only components at 60C. Benjamin, Professor Katz, he told me before he even did the analysis, he was like, I don't want to mess up my mass spectrometry machine, so I'm only going to do 60C. Everything that volatilizes over at 60 centigrade, right? And like I said, as we know, if you look it up, the boiling point fractions for the different hydrocarbons that make up gasoline are not just 60C, but between 60C and about 120, 140C. So yes, those were everything that came over at that temperature.
Yeah.
But I actually am in talks with another person that could do mass spectrometry at a higher temperature too. So I will say this: yes, you're correct that there are some things in the fuel that may not be found in gasoline. That's the whole point of doing the analysis, right? But I will also say this: there are many benzene ring products found in gasoline that are actually having to be removed, right, on the at the refinery scale. And by the way, people are saying that they did look up, is there styrene products in gasoline, and it's saying yes.
All right. But again, so to follow up my question, the HTP run. If you go Google for HDPE pyrolysis, you can
Right,
find ready research papers on it, like complete research papers, as well as on any other plastic pyrolysis
right,
technology. Because as you yourself pointed out, you haven't invented this technology. It's decades old. You found it online, which is fine. It's your following who thinks you invented it. That's your not your fault. But the thing is, right? So if you go look at the analysis of an HDPE run, a purely HDPE run, it shows no styrene.
right,
It shows nearly only alkenes and dekenes,
right,
like octadekenes and hexadekenes and stuff like that. Stuff you can actually use as a fuel without
right,
too much hassle. There's no benzene in it. There's no benzene derivatives in it.
right.
So that means that either your process is running way too low in temperature,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't actually crack the molecules, or you have a serious contamination issue from the mixed plastics you ran earlier. So either
Okay.
one of those.
All right. Fair point. There. Fair point. So, in what he saw predominantly styrene, right? And usually styrene is associated with polystyrene. What you said is absolutely true. When you look up HDPE pyrolysis, you don't usually see almost any styrene at all. But I got a lot of styrene. Now, I actually have never done at this point a run in my machine with a lot of styrofoam. Not a lot of styrofoam at all for it to come back predominantly as styrene. So what that lets me know is that the process of cyclization is happening, where the ethylene or these other hydrocarbons that are breaking out of the HDPE are actually breaking apart and coming back together to form the benzene rings and the benzene derivative rings, right? So that's what's happening. It was not a matter of contamination, and I made sure of that because what I did was this, right? I did two runs. I did a run of just HDPE before I did the analysis run, but I did another run. I cleaned out the carbon, blah blah blah. I did another run to make sure the pipes were only had that oil. And on top of that, I never did such a big styrofoam run to make that much styrene. So with cyclization happening, I think your first theory is correct, that the temperatures are not getting hot enough. Or if anything, it might be the opposite. Maybe the temperatures are getting so hot initially that they're splitting apart, but then it's cooling down so fast that, they're forming, or maybe it's so hot that they're able to form before they cool down, right, into the oil. And that's great to see because that lets me know, and have theories as to what's happening and what could possibly be a solution. And one solution that I theorize and I hypothesize is that when the machine is operating continuously, it'll be a much hotter, consistent temperature the whole time through, and then that should, in theory, may perhaps help that problem. Now we will see as we as I do that. Now I will also add, because you did mention a thing, and I'll let everybody know. Yes, indeed, I did not invent the process of pyrolysis or microwave pyrolysis. As I say in my bio, I am an innovator of the process, and I'm currently working to see how we can get this process up to be a solution for plastic waste.
Right. So I'm gonna leave you to this because there's probably other people, and I'm taking way too much of the time. Everything going all right?
Yeah, it's just a carport. It got some wind. I was making sure nothing was
Oh, yeah, all
happening.
right.
It's just
Okay.
swaying quite a bit.
All right. So,
But
all
listen,
right.
Peter, I really
Uh,
appreciate you coming up. Honestly, I didn't know if you were going to come up or not. So much respect to you for coming up. And I will say this one thing before you go. And I'll be honest with you, man. You know, I understand you have a respect and enthusiasm for all types of science, and I respect that absolutely. And I respect that you keep me on my toes when it comes to constantly innovating, growing, and make sure I'm getting my things done. But I will say this, right? I do think that the tone that you may have in some comments, I think that it would be better received if it wasn't from a perspective of more of like trying to shut down what I do and more of like, this is how you could do it better. Because I will be honest with you, right? If I see a comment and a dude is just straight up just saying from the get-go, I'm a scammer. You say that a lot in your comments, right? So let me ask you that. let me ask you, why do you think I'm a scammer if I tell people I'm going to be building this machine and I don't, they send me a donation or they don't, and they literally see things being built in the flesh? How is that by definition a scam?
Well, that's coming back to the gasoline part, right? So you give people the hope that you are actually producing gasoline. You're giving people the hope that you're producing natural gas, that you're producing diesel, that you're producing crude oil, that you're producing things that they know. Well, in fact, the analysis shows that it's benzene and styrene, so it's not gasoline. I mean, you can't even burn it without a respirator because you'll get cancer from the exhaust fumes. So it's at best extremely misleading to say that it's gasoline, and at worst, it's a scam. And since you keep on ignoring the results and the people warning you for not jumping to conclusions, to not prematurely call things gasoline or things like natural gas because it's not natural gas by definition because it's not natural. By mislabeling the stuff, you're misleading people. People might believe things you say because you say them in a convincingly manner, but you have no data or evidence to back those claims up. That's misleading, and
Well,
because you keep on misleading, that's a scam. I mean,
well, listen, Peter. Listen, Peter. I respectfully disagree with you with that definition of calling it a scam. For one, because like I said, nowadays I make sure I say that every product I make is an alternative and compare it to what it works with. And two, you say I'm not making fuel, but if I'm making a product that comes over and I can put it in an engine and it burns and it runs the engine, by definition, whether it's a clean fuel or a dirty fuel or a fuel that could be work passes the EPA or not, it is a fuel. And for three, I always tell people over and over again, the point of this machine is not even to make fuel. The point of this machine is to truly destroy plastic waste and not just turn it from like one bottle to another bottle, but truly destroy it on a chemical level, which it does do. And even the scientific results show it's not. It didn't come back in this result saying this is plastic. You know what it said? These are petrochemical products of plastic. And for four, of course, I tell people I'm innovating the process of microwave pyrolysis, above all else, with plastic or not. And no matter what you say, look at this machine behind you. This is indeed a functional and constantly innovating and being upgraded microwave pyrolysis reactor. So by definition of a scam, my claims of what I'm doing are not what's not happening here, right? I'm literally saying I'm building a machine. You see the machine, it's working right now live before our eyes. I'm saying I'm making a fuel product, and maybe it's not clean. I never said it was clean, right?
well,
But it does burn. It does work in
by
engines,
calling
right?
it by
So by
calling it
definition, it's a fuel
gasoline,
product.
by calling it gasoline, you strongly suggest that it is a clean burning fuel.
But Peter,
That's
I told you that I now call it plastoline. I told
but
you
you
that
still
already. I
call it
told you I know.
you still
I
call it
admitted that in the
plastoline.
past, especially when I was younger, and I was just trying to get my name out there because I didn't even know better. I did because also, Peter, if you look up pyrolysis literature, even in pyrolysis literature, they literally say we could turn plastic into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. So I was just basing that stuff off of the literature I read, and then I'm over here distilling it, and it's coming over at the same boiling points as gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. I'm lighting it with the flame, and it's lighting with the same flash points of gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. It has the same viscosity of gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. So according to my eyes, before I do an analysis, well, it, it's a fair guess to say it is gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. But of course, I'm growing. I'm 21. I've been doing this for 4 years since high school. I'm growing as a scientist. I'm growing in the process. And what I was saying is, I feel like your tone in comments, you act like nothing can be improved. You act like it's over. You act like it can't be improved just because it's been done before. Just because right now it might be toxic. And I think that you might be too pessimistic. Like, I'm not saying be optimistic. You can be realistic. And the realistic approach of any science is, yes, there are problems, but there are also solutions that can be found. And we can see this in pyrolysis literature as as you read clearly.
All right. So one thing, because everyone's telling me to no, I think even kill myself. I won't be doing that. But please stop jumping to conclusions. Please make sure things are actual facts because before you name them. Make sure you have analysis ready. Make sure you keep data. Make sure you do anything. Like I've been telling people for a while now that I love crazy science experiments that don't seem to have any purpose. Yeah, purpose is not the right word, but I can't come up to the right word for it right now. So, like the stuff now Red is doing, for example, turning toluene into a cherry flavor, which is ridiculous. It's not in any way a sensible mean of getting a cherry flavor, but the entire process behind it is very interesting. If you came from it like from a stance, like I'm experimenting, I found this old stuff, it's cool, I'm trying to make it work, I'm trying to make it happen, let's try to see if we can improve on it,
But
it would be fine.
Peter,
But
I have to disagree with you there. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I have to disagree because I remember seeing tons of comments from you saying this guy will never get analysis done because he'll prove he's a scammer. He will never do it. He will never do it. I got the analysis done, and instead of congratulating me for even one moment on starting to become more scientific, you immediately go into, oh, this is proof it's not fuel, it's a scam. If you were truly coming from a realistic perspective and not being pessimistic, not being biased, for or against my success, you could at least congratulate the step forward of me doing exactly what you're saying, showing I'm improving, becoming more scientific. That's a huge step for this project. This was the first time ever in the 4 years
yeah,
I've done this that I finally got analysis, regardless of what it says. I got it done. And you said I never would, and you said I'm a scammer because I never will, but I did it, and you didn't even say good job not
that,
once. So I'm saying that's
that's
the
correct.
opposite of science. You're shutting me down
Because
for improving.
because I think it's the bare minimum, right? So you need to have a factual understanding of what you're doing before you make any claims. So you make the hard claim that you made gasoline, which isn't true, which the analysis shows. But instead of backing down and saying, okay, guys, I didn't make gasoline, I made liquid plastic, and we shouldn't burn this because it's bad, you double down and keep saying it's a gasoline alternative. It's gasoline. It's gasoline I made from. So you keep doubling down on not. You're not backing down in the sense of
No, Peter,
you're proven
I call
wrong.
it plastoline. I don't call it I say plastoline, a gasoline alternative. I stopped calling it gasoline
Exactly.
after that. I always say plastoline in the sense that it's a gasoline because, like I
You,
said, but like I said, you could read pyrolysis literature and literal pyrolysis literature from universities all over the world will literally say you can make gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel alternatives from plastic. And the mass spectrometry once again was only at 60C, so we don't know all the next other 60C all the way up to like 120, 140C of hydrocarbon boiling point derivatives that could be similar to that of gasoline, right? We don't know that.
all right.
We
All
have to
right.
get that done. So what
Yeah.
I'm saying is this right here. All I'm saying is this. This is my bottom line. I appreciate you pushing me to continue to get things done. I appreciate your criticism because that's what science is all about. But what I don't appreciate is how even when I do finally make these accomplishments, there's no type of celebration to any degree. It's just right to the next thing. Like, why you're a scammer off of this, off of that, off of that. It's like, well, dude, I will always be a scammer in your eyes if after I finally make a huge step forward. Because, analysis isn't easy. First of all, I've been looking to do analysis for years. I need the right connection. And it's, it's expensive stuff. And I'm trying to improve the machine, too. I'm trying to finish the machine. So, I told people I'm going to get it done before the end of the year. I stuck to my word. I did it, right? And
Right.
especially
Yeah.
for
Fair
people
enough.
like you,
Fair enough.
because you
Yeah.
say I was never going to
Yeah.
do it, right? And I did it. And
Fair
that's
enough.
all I'm
You
saying,
did
right?
it.
Let's be true, like scientific in the sense of congratulate every improvement, even as little as it is. Science is very patient. It takes tons of time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's congratulate every little improvement and then get on to the next thing. What needs to be done next?
All right.
Right?
I got one last thing, which a couple of people were worrying over, were questioning about.
Yeah,
What's up with the 776 grant, like the $100,000 grant you got?
yeah. What do you mean by
Um,
what's up with it?
well, you've been you've been enabled in a program, so you're a fellow, right?
Yes, I'm a
So
fellow.
according to the website, you have access to a quarterly deposition of money. So why aren't you using that money for like stuff for analysis or stuff like the shredder? Or I mean, what's up with that money? Why are you getting
Trust me,
the
Peter.
no?
I use that money. So the 776 is $100,000 broken up over 2 years, and you get it quarterly. So that converts to about $3,000 a month. And I run through that money so quick. Like I literally spent as soon as I get my payment, I pretty much almost spent it all in 1 month because these parts just to build the machine are are so expensive. So when people donate, or when I did the GoFundMe race for the analysis, it's literally because I expended all of that 776 money. It costs over $10,000 to get this car put and to get this machine moved. It cost over $10,000 to upgrade my electrical system, to get it computerized, and to get those sensors. I show the receipts for everything. My pressure sensor alone literally was $800. So I run through that grant money so quick, and anybody that does any type of petrochemical thing, it wouldn't be surprising. $100,000 alone isn't a lot for this type of work, but let alone $3,000 a month. You're gonna run it through it, because I was spending over $3,000 a month out of my own pocket before the grant on this machine.
Yeah.
So it's a very expensive process, and that's why I'm like, I don't ever come over here begging people to donate, but it's like, well, if you want to, if you appreciate what I do and you want to help, feel free to donate. I really appreciate it, because it's an expensive process, and like I said, I'm 21, I'm young, I'm doing this, and I'm just trying to do something, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah. All right.
And so if you appreciate what I do for trying, then I appreciate you, and that's all it is.
All right. Well, I appreciate you trying. I don't appreciate you not being fully honest about trying. Yeah, I think your style of presentation leaves a lot to be desired, and maybe you can improve on that. Maybe you can do something about
Yeah.
the fact that people seem to think that you A, invent this stuff, but B, actually make gasoline. So that's still a thing. That's coincidentally why people keep making the joke that the government is coming after you. I mean, it's
Hey,
everywhere in every.
that's on the people. I can't control what jokes people make.
No. But
I don't encourage
that's
them. I
no.
literally
But
made a
that's
video saying the
I
government, 99% of the chance, will not be killing me. I literally made a video saying that.
yeah.
So, if
No,
people say
but
I'm an
that's
inventor and I say I'm an innovator, that's on people.
that
And
that's coming from the fact that they actually think you're making gasoline, and that's misleading. I mean, yeah, let's be honest, that it is misleading.
well,
And
like I said, you can look up pyrolysis literature, and it literally says it in there from universities all over the world. But like I said, I call it plastoline nonetheless. But I think we can agree to disagree on that fact, because we've been circling
yeah,
over that again.
yeah,
But
yeah,
once
yeah.
again, Peter, I appreciate you for coming by. I appreciate the respectful debate. I let you speak, you let me speak. So much respect to you, man, and much love. Where you from? You say you're Dutch. You from the Netherlands?
Yeah, I'm from the
Uh,
Netherlands. Yeah, that's
I
correct.
just met the consul general of the Netherlands
Yeah,
last week.
Jacob Veerman. Yes.
So,
All
so
right.
man, much love to you in the Netherlands, man, and thank you for your support.
Yeah. All right. Wear a
All right, take
respirator.
care.
Bye bye.
You said 3K a month is not much for complex research. Yeah, it's so true, because I'll tell you guys, I count down and calculate what I'm going to spend the grant payment on, right? And then it comes, and I got to buy something, and then this thing I buy doesn't work like I want it to. Then I got to buy something else. So it comes down to I get about $12,000 every 3 months. It's gone, like immediately, every time, right? So that's why when I see you guys, like, the donations really help, and they really like contribute to this project. They truly do. Because until I get like a multi tens of $1 million grant, this thing is expensive, and this is a small machine, right? Love from Germany. Hey, much love to you, to Germany.